Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my very lovely co-host, Marcie, who's eating a
Hello.
potato.
Very, very looks forward to potato. It was not wanting to finish cooking in the oven. I was sat on the floor, like staring at it, being like, "Can you crisp up, please?" It got there in the end.
That's good. Yeah, some highs and lows for the Leafs. Obviously, a really dominant win against Philadelphia, and then
Do we
the game
want
that made me want
It never happened.
the game that made me nearly slam my head through my coffee table.
Yeah.
Never have. But St. Pat's jerseys.
But you know what we didn't get? We didn't get to see Joseph Wall in his absolutely gorgeous stained glass helmet.
No, we did not. He did not start Saturday's game. Like, a lot of people suspected. Like, I thought, because when he didn't start, I was like, okay, so maybe we don't know Sheldon Keefe as well as we thought we did. But it wasn't just us who thought that. I was listening to some parts of the Steve Dangle podcast, and they also said that this was before this. I think it was like Friday's episode or something, and they were like, oh, the projected starter for tomorrow will be Joseph Wool or something like should be or whatever. But yeah, so no, Samsonov started both games, which is like obviously you're going to go with the hot hand, especially against a team like Carolina. I'm just thinking about like how the Leafs schedule is rolling out for the next like 2 weeks. I think it's like 1, 2, 4, 7 games in 14 days, but like 2 of those are you've got 2 back-to-backs with travel in the next like week, which is absolutely ridiculous. Who decided this was a good idea?
Someone who hates the Leafs.
Gary Bettman.
Yes, it's a conspiracy. It's a fact.
It's a conspiracy theory, but so like obviously you're going into a very heavy loaded schedule against some pretty competitive opponents. Like it's like Carolina, yes, Philadelphia, again in Philadelphia, Washington, which like anytime you're up against Ovechkin is dangerous, especially this time of the year now. Edmonton, that's going to be a hard game, and then Carolina in Raleigh. Those are all hard opponents. It's not an easy schedule coming up this week. And so I don't know. I guess like I don't know why you wouldn't maybe want to try and maximize the rest that you can give Samsonov, but I guess also as well, like is what it is at the end of the day. Can't change it now.
I just miss seeing Joseph Wall on my screen.
Yeah.
We
do miss Joseph, but we can talk about the game against Philadelphia on Thursday. Yeah, Samsonov obviously gets to start. No Marner still, and we'll talk about that. Yarncroke picking the lineup. Oh, this is how long this game feels like it was. Like how long ago this feels like it was. Tyler Bertuzzi opens up the scoring. I think the first thing I'm gonna like Tyler Bertuzzi had a really good game against Philadelphia. He technically had 2 goals. I don't know if do we want to call like yeah, okay. It's like yeah, okay. It is a hand pass from Austin Matthews, but also at the same time he had a fully grown man on top of him.
It's like, come on. Why do you hit fun?
That was called back, but then Pontus Holmberg. Off the draw. That's Mitch Marner's favorite player. Having a really great season when he is playing.
Like, when he is playing, you can always tell. And that's what I like, because it's like...
Same with Robertson.
Mm.
And we'll talk about Robertson's game that he had on Saturday. Because he did have a good game. Also on the Holmberg goal as well, Connor Dewar's first point as a Leaf.
Oh yeah.
Way to go, Connor.
Look at him go.
Look at him go.
I still
And
can't believe.
Well, it's official now. He finally got his headshot
He did.
today.
It's still not sunk in. It's still not hit me. I'm like, I'll see him out there and I'll be like, what are you doing here?
Silly goose.
What are
Should
you
be here.
here?
How have you gotten here? Yeah, and then Timothy Liljegren with the knuckle puck. Did you see the slow-mo of his shot? Absolute knuckle puck.
Timmy.
Ilya Samsonov gets an assist. His first point of the season.
Yay!
The offense was coming from all sides. Talk about secondary scoring right there.
Mm.
You know, everybody's been wanting more secondary scoring from the Leafs. We have it.
We've got it.
Ilya Samsonov got a point. Definition of secondary scoring right there.
Mm.
And then I think we're finally gonna get to, I think, the elephant in the room. Calle Yarncroke leaves game after an awkward fall into the boards. We don't know if it's shoulder, we don't know if it's head. And then Sheldon Keefe clarifies afterwards that it was not shoulder or head, which, like, yeah, okay. Could be
Like,
7 other things.
Like, there's a long list of possibilities, and none of them are ones that I want to consider.
Well, we do know what it is now, and it is another injury to his hand. Unfortunately, Calle Yarncroke getting quite a bit of bad luck with that.
Mm.
He also has already been placed on LTIR.
Oh, Calle.
So the earliest he can return to the lineup is early April because he's been placed on LTIR.
That's rough.
So unfortunate, some bad luck for Yarncroke and some bad luck for the Leafs for sure. They really yes, injuries happen to everyone, but you know, for it to be a player, kind of, I don't want to say is crucial because you did see the team have success without him when he was out with a broken knuckle, but like you can play him almost anywhere in your lineup, which is valuable, and also as well, like, he can play on the power play, he can play on the penalty kill, which the Leafs needs yeah, special teams. Woohoo! Yeah. So Austin Matthews also scores number 55 of the season. Proof he can score without Mitch Marner. He's not very good at it though.
Yeah.
Pontus Holmberg also then gets back, like, after Yarncroke leaves the game because he was on the top line. Pontus Holmberg slots back up and gets more top line minutes, which good for him. Good for you.
Good Pontus.
Yeah. And then I want to talk, the most ridiculous one is the Leafs get a power play, Matthew Knies power play goal. 3 Flyers don't have their sticks.
What is going on? Like, I literally sat and I watched that happen in slow-mo. I was like,
oh my God.
No fucking way.
Because not only did the Leafs have the Flyers in a spin cycle, there was 3 Flyers without sticks. And so you were like, if the Leafs don't score in this opportunity, it's a lost cause. We're done. We're done for it. It's over. Cancel the parade. So done. End of the line right here. But yeah, I will say also as well, because there was no John Tortorella, because he was serving the second game of his 2-game suspension. So their assistant coach, which I don't know his name, and I should have looked it up, but I didn't. Oops. my fault, was mad that the Leafs were playing their top power play unit when they were up like 6-1.
It's like
First of all, our top our bottom unit guys were just out for like 2 minutes. So then Sheldon Keefe does something that I think is more insulting, which is playing Ryan Reeves on the power play. I think that's way more insulting.
so much worse.
Playing
It's like, oh,
like,
you don't want our top line guys?
here's
Well,
Ryan Reeves.
I've Ryan Reeves. Surprise!
Like, I think that's far more insulting than playing your top unit. I think if your top unit, you're like, oh, you are still competitive. You're putting Ryan Reeves out there, which also as well, like, the Flyers then like scored literally like 2 seconds later a shorthanded goal with Ryan Reeves on the ice. And it's like, well, Bob's your uncle. Because it's like, also as well, the Flyers this season has been notably really good on the penalty kill at like producing offense. Like, I think they lead the league in shorthanded goals, which is ridiculous. So like, of course Sheldon Keefe is gonna put his top power play unit out there because the Flyers are so good on the penalty kill. Like,
I was like, sorry, do you just like not want them to do their jobs?
that's the thing where I was like, there's like some old like hockey code rules where I just like I don't understand. I'm like, why is this a rule?
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we found out that Mitch Marner is week to week with a high ankle sprain.
We kind of shit.
And then, now, well, and some news that we got today was that he will not be making the road trip with the Leafs for this 2-game stint to feel like the Philadelphia and Washington back-to-back. He will not be there. Also as well, Ilya Lyubushkin is ill. Welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs, Ilya. It was only a matter of time before you caught something.
Yeah.
Like, it's like an initiation at this point. Like, sorry, it's like when you go back to school and like your immune, or no. It's like, when you're like in your first year and it's your first time living with people, like, I don't know, for me, it was like my first time living in res. It was my first time like living in close proximity with other people. Right? And like having to share a bathroom with people and like sharing air. And I think I also got like a mold allergy from my dorm room.
Yeah.
I'm 95% sure that happened to me because I literally felt like crap for like the month before I went home. And then I went home and I magically felt better.
Yeah. Something about living in uni accommodation, it changes your immune system.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, I was ill all the time.
But like, it's like you're in like, you're in university and like everyone's sick all the time. And the people are like, why am I sick? I never used to get sick. This is exactly what it's like coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're like, never missed a day of a day of work, in my whatever long illustrious career as an NHLer. I don't know.
Surprise!
And I joined the Toronto Maple Leafs and I get sick immediately. That's what this is. So unfortunate that he will not be there, but that also means that we see the return of the Benoit and McCabe pairing. The only cost is we have Riley and Brody back together.
Yeah.
But we do see the return of Benoit and McCabe, which is fantastic. That pairing obviously works. So, and that means we will see Benny return to the lineup, which is also really good news because he's missed the last like 3 games.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He didn't play in Montreal. No, literally it was Boston.
Oh my God.
The last time he played, was the last time Joseph Wool played.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the last game Joseph Wool played.
But yeah, so let's talk. Well, we have to talk about Leafs and Hurricanes because I do want to talk about Leaf special teams. I also want to talk about the fact that there was that day you woke like morning skate, Leafs morning skate, absolute panic. There was about 30 minutes of sheer panic on Leafs Twitter because Ilya Samsonov went down in practice and had to leave practice early, like had to leave the morning skate early, very obviously in pain. Only to find out
so many emotions.
we were like, all the emotions were hitting at once, only to find out that he got hit in the balls with a puck.
Oh, this team.
Which has led to then multiple questions to the Leafs goalies about getting hit in unfortunate places with a puck. Today in Joseph Will's media availability, it was like it's like a minute and 20 seconds where that's what he's answering. And his media availability is only like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you're a goalie. How does it feel to get hit in the balls? And it's like not fun.
And he's trying to like not say it. Like you can see his like brain being like, well, you know, other places.
It's the way he just goes other places. And I'm like, oh Joseph.
Or in the words of Ilya Samsonov, bad zone. And then cause Sammy, and I'm glad he wasn't too hard of himself about the game because it really wasn't his fault.
No.
He then said why he then asked Leafs like the Toronto media like why are you smiling? Really, it's a great quote.
Oh
my god. Yeah. Slow first period. Connor Dewar had a lot of breakaway chances, which like good on Connor Dewar.
Good
like,
for him.
Good for him. Yeah, Robertson scores in his first game back. It's almost like you should play him more, Sheldon.
Yes, Sheldon.
Yeah, Sheldon. And then also David Kampf also scores. David, what was that, David? I still can't believe I watched a David Kampf breakaway goal.
What is the world we live in? Whoa.
And the Leafs still lost this game. That's the thing where it's like David Kampf was scoring breakaway goals and you still lost. And you still lost. Yeah, I will say like power play, not great right now. Not having Marner and Yarncroke like isn't helping, but also the power play is 1-24 in the last 9 games.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so that's an issue. That's a problem that the Leafs can't have. I also say, like, you know, a penalty kill, I don't care. It's 6-on-4. You shouldn't be letting the other team score with 5 seconds left in the game.
Absolutely not. Like, I was sat and it hit like the last 2 minutes, and then they were like, I was just like, it made me realize that I'm never ever happy with a Leafs lead unless it's by at least 4 goals.
We're too traumatized from everything. This was a fun little stat. Well, also I will say as well, like the Kampf penalty wasn't hooking.
No.
Orders Dmitry Kufalov has been suspended for 2 games for illegal check to the head on. Oh, Connor Sheary. Penn's legend, Connor Sheary. But yeah, like the camp penalty wasn't. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, the refs are the reason why the Leafs lost that game. No, because you also shouldn't be putting yourself in like you also should be winning this game. Like you shouldn't even have to get to this point where it's like. So I'm not blaming the ref. I am just saying like, hey, that's a call you make in September, preseason. That's a preseason call. That's not a, hey, look, it's March. We've got what, 15 games left of the season. We're ramping up for playoff hockey against two teams who are going to be in the playoffs. And you're going to call that? A noted goon, David Camp.
The other thing is, like, on David Camp of all people.
Of all people, you're going to call it on David Camp?
What is this team? Dear me.
David Camp, who has less than 100 penalty minutes in 461 NHL games.
Oh, David.
Do you know how many penalty minutes he got last season when he played a full 82 games?
Emma, enlighten me.
8. Put him up for the Lady Byng.
Not for like.
Why wasn't he a Lady Byng candidate last year?
Exactly. Justice for David Camp.
Justice for David Camp, who played a full 82 game season and only had 8 penalty minutes.
Like everyone was like,
on a Leafs roster that had Michael Bunting.
I miss him so much.
But yeah, also as well, fun stat via Sportsnet stats, and then also thanks to Steve Dangle. Shout out to Steve. This is via Sportsnet stats, but the last time the Leafs gave up a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes remaining in a game was December 18th, 2007 versus Carolina. That's the last time they did it in a regular season. Thanks, Steve, for pointing this out. The last time they did it at all was Game 7 versus Boston in 2013.
Would you look at that?
That was childhood trauma for me. That game was traumatic. I was traumatized as a child watching that.
Just bringing it all back up.
Oh, absolutely. I cried. 9-year-old me did cry.
Oh, poor little 9-year-old.
But do you want to play a fun game of guess who was on the Leafs? Guess who the Leafs leading goal scorer was on that 2007-2008 Leafs roster?
This is my favorite game to play. Hit me.
You don't have a guess?
I think I'd prefer to just face the shock.
Well, the leading goal scorer, he also had the most points as well. Was none other than Matt Sundin. Do you want to play a game of guess how many goals he scored?
A lot.
Mind you, he was 36. No, he scored 32.
Yeah. Oh, this fucking
team. Some other notable guys who were on this Leafs roster. Visa Toskala was your starting goaltender. We did have a McCabe, but it was Brian McCabe. Darcy Tucker. I'm not too fun with it. Thomas Caverly. And noted Twitter personality Carla Koliavoko. Koboko. Kobo. I don't know how to say his last name. The one who's on Twitter all the time. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah. But the best part is guess who was the head coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs that season?
You are testing my brain.
He still coaches now. In the NHL.
Why can I not think of anyone? You've put me on the spot and my mind's gone blank.
I know. I put you on the spot with this one. You're gonna hate yourself for not getting it.
Am I? Surprise me.
Paul Maurice
Fuck off.
of the Florida Panthers. He was the head coach of this team. It's really funny because of who was on Carolina in this game. Ray Whitney scored a goal.
Of course he did. Of course. Oh.
You know. Yeah. You know, Eric Stahl played in this game because yeah. Like that's the thing. This Rod Brindamore has been a part of both of those games.
We will never know peace.
Rod Brindamore played in that game. And then Rod Brindamore has coached the game on Saturday for the Carolina Hurricanes.
I don't even have words. This team.
Oh my God, Andrew Ladd. But yeah, so that was fun. I did a little bit of digging on that because I was curious on. I was like, oh, 2007. Who's on that roster? Cool. Matt Sundin was still playing. Sick. Also, that team wasn't great. But yeah, the Leafs do need to figure out the penalty kill with Marner and Yarncrook out because it sounds like today from Sheldon Keefe's comments that it'll be a while for Yarncrook. Like, I think the most telling thing is that they put him on LTIR.
Yeah.
Right. So he can't return until early April. And then Marner, Sheldon Keefe came out today with an absolute riddle. He is day to day away from being day to day.
Sheldon, what does that mean?
Sheldon, you have to talk to us like we're 5 years old, please. Enough with the riddles. I don't want to do more work with this than I have to. But yeah, so I think it just basically sounds like he is Mitch Marner's high ankle sprain. Oh, lovely. Dealing with another one of those. Is not healing in the way that they expected it to, aka it's taking longer than they thought. So meaning he's not making the road trip one of 2 road trips this week, but he's not playing in Tuesday's game or Wednesday's game against Philadelphia and then Washington. But yeah, it's a crazy 2 back-to-backs with travel in a row is an absolute insane schedule. I will say, because you go Philadelphia, Washington, 2 days off, and then Edmonton at home, and then Carolina in Carolina. And the Carolina game starts at 6 p.m. So it's less than 24 hours from the start of the game the previous night against Edmonton. Who decided this? Who decided this?
Who thought that was okay? Like,
who did think that was okay? But yeah.
It's insane.
For the like I don't even want like because like the big conversation right now is like who's gonna be the Leafs starter. Not even like it's a bigger conversation than it has to be. Is like who's gonna be the Leafs starter for like game 1.
And it's like
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's like everyone's like, oh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And it's like, well, we've got the rest of the season to see how that like you can't just be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Samsonov. Oh, it's gonna be what use your brain.
Yeah, like that's the thing where I was like, we don't know because you know Joseph Wool has played what 3 games since returning from injury, and you know it's like 2 of them were against Boston.
Yeah, they were rough games.
They weren't fun games, so it's like you can't even like you know he hasn't started in like a week and a half, over a week and a half.
Yeah, he's not started this 11 days since his last game now.
Yeah, and like okay, so he'll get his first start either tomorrow against Philadelphia or he'll get his first start against Washington. If he starts against Washington, it will have been exactly 2 weeks since his last start. So then,
I need to can they let me just sit down with Sheldon Keefe and just let me yell at him?
like none of that is to Sheldon's fault because the Leafs did have like 4 days off.
But like still.
But like yeah, but like still you would have thought that like maybe you would have given Joseph Wool Philadelphia, the first Philadelphia game, like Thursday's game, right? If you really wanted Samsonov for Saturday.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
It's just annoying because it's like you know that Joseph like the best, not the best thing, but like you should be giving Joseph Wool more reps in net. And I will say though, he's taking it in stride, you know, sitting more. His media availability today said very much like he was just like, I just want to, you know, I'm just trying to be a good teammate and like showing my like being there and being supportive, and so it's good. It's like I don't know. It's the thing where it's like, well, we can't decide who our game 1 starter is now at this point in the year because first of all, Joseph Wool has gotten 3 games since he's come back from injury. 2 of them against Boston. Also as well, like there's still what 20 games left?
Yeah, we've got a while.
19 games left. Like we got time to figure it out. We have like a month. Playoffs don't start for like a month. A lot can happen in a month. So
I can't believe it's only like a month away though. That's crazy.
I know. April's gonna come so quickly. April's gonna come so quickly, and I just know we're gonna be so crazy busy. But yeah, just like there's gonna be playoffs. I feel like we're gonna have so much fun though covering the playoffs.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so much fun.
You know, other news today it was announced today that Philadelphia Flyers announced that they will sign Wayne Simmonds to a 1-day contract in order for him to retire as a Flyer. They'll also host a ceremony on pregame on April 13th versus New Jersey Devils to recognize Wayne Simmonds' career and to celebrate his retirement. Simmonds played 1,037 games in the NHL, with 128 of them being with his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs. As Wayne Simmonds, he's a Scarborough guy. He's from Scarborough. So yeah, I think, wish all the best to Wayne Simmonds. He's had a really fantastic career full of really fantastic accomplishments, and the Wayne train is leaving the station.
Emma.
Yeah, no, today a video, like with the announcement, a video that kind of resurfaced on Twitter today was from the playoffs last year, and it was it was via Luke Fox actually, but it was the reaction of, it was just, of John Tavares's goal in overtime in game 6, and it caught the reaction of Wayne Simmonds and Zach Aston Reese, and that, like, oh my god, because those two guys didn't play, they were in the press box for that game, but like, man, oh man.
Tears. I miss that so much.
I think, I always love it though when teams, like, when a player like Wayne Simmonds, like, who played most of his career in Philadelphia, like, lets players sign a one-day contract and like does all this big thing for his retirement. I think that's just really cool. Really special. And yeah, I wish Wayne Simmonds all the best onto what he does next. Hopefully he does more broadcasting. He was on TSN Trade Center and it was so great. I hope he does more of that stuff more, with TSN or Sportsnet or wherever, like, he does more TV stuff because he's really good at it. I'll give him that, really good at it, really entertaining, has a ton of great stories for sure. He's had a long career, and now he gets to finally like enjoy it. Like, I don't think this was like a huge crazy shock to anyone that he was retiring, but the fact that the Philadelphia, it's done, with some hurrah. You know what I mean? Like, it's very special. Done in a very special way, right? Speaking of major milestone accomplishments, it's something I wanted to bring up briefly, even though I'm talking about a now Boston Bruin and a Washington Capital. Both James Van Riemsdyk and TJ Oshie celebrated reaching the 1,000 game milestone this weekend. I will say, for Leafs fans who were Leaf fans like me through, that like 2011 to 2017 era of the Toronto Maple Leafs, go watch the full JVR like 1,000 games video, not just the ceremony that they showed in the rink, because that was like only a really short portion. Like the messages video, it's on the Boston Bruins YouTube channel if you don't know where to find it. And it's like, and there's a 14-minute long video that the Boston Bruins did where it's like a bunch of just well wishes from former teammates, from current teammates, from former coaches, from current coaches, from former GMs, whatever. And like, you get about halfway through and you're like, oh, Philadelphia Flyer, here's, Claude Giroux, here's Scott Laughton, here's Danny Briere. And then it hits you back to back to back with Nazem Kadri, Dion Phaneuf, Phil Kessel, Jake Gardiner, Mitch Marner, Morgan Riley.
Which I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is cute. And then bam. I was like, oh my god.
Because it shows Nazem Kadri, I'm like, oh sweet, they got Naz, right? And then I'm like, wait a minute. There's a split second where I'm like, wait a minute, is that Dion Phaneuf? Before the text showed up, I was like, Dion? And then they go, oh, as if that's not enough, with former captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, here's Phil Kessel.
They did that for you.
They did that for me. And then, and then they're like, oh yeah, here's Jake Gardiner, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Jake Gardiner. Mitch Marner, who, by the way, is alive, everyone. Like, I don't know how long ago that was filmed, but in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, so this was what probably filmed like 2 days before, like, oh, here's the first sign of like actual proof of life we've gotten from Mitch Marner in like a week and a half.
I know it.
And it's hidden in the middle. It's hidden in the middle of the like a video on the Boston Bruins YouTube channel.
It's like, where else would it be?
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool. He was a huge part of the Leafs organization for like that period of time, like, the 2013 playoff run against Boston, obviously, but then also as well, like through like the time when like the Leafs were really bad for a couple of seasons. They weren't great. They weren't fun to watch. And so I don't know. That was just a little bit of nostalgia for me, a little bit of childhood nostalgia where it was like, oh, it's actually such an effort to watch. Not an effort, because I do love the Leafs and I've loved the Leafs growing up as well, but it was like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, Leafs are playing tonight. How will they disappoint me tonight? Time to tune in. Watch the Leafs. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, congrats to both of them. That's a crazy large milestone that, like, I don't know. Players don't hit very often.
No.
Also as well, the GM meetings are this week. I think they're like in Florida, at least that's what it seems like from like that one tweet. I forget who it was from, but it was like of Chris Johnson.
I know the tweet you mean.
But
I know what you mean. I just can't remember.
I think he probably reposted it, and that's what I said. It was like someone I have tweet notifications on for, I believe. Not on Chris Johnson, but anyways. And so Chris Johnson tweeted out, and I'll read this out. I just had his Twitter open as well. Here we go. Interesting nugget coming out of today's NHL GM meeting. A couple managers mentioned that the league has signed on to do a behind-the-scenes series with Amazon that will center around 10 to 12 star players. It's due for a fall release. Okay, follow them like during the summer? Or have you been following them all season? Or are you only starting to follow them now? Like,
yeah,
I'm very intrigued by this. I think it'll, obviously it's not the first time we've seen Amazon take interest in the NHL. There was All or Nothing that followed the Leafs.
I watched that so often.
I still have never to this day finished the last episode.
Have you not?
I can't live through that. I've clicked through it to look for clips for an edit. But I never like sit down, like I've never finished it. Yeah.
I can't believe you're getting a series on Justin Hall.
Justin Hall.
I can't wait.
Noted NHL star Justin Hall.
Yeah, have you seen how he throws the puck? No one else is doing it like he is. But
the only thing like that I'll say is that like I'm thinking, okay, so it'll follow 10 to 12 stars. Okay. What? It'll follow Connor McDavid. Like I'm like, why are you like, as cool as it is to spotlight the league stars and that's who's gonna like bring in the money from like on ice talent, like from an on ice talent perspective.
Give us
a lot of them aren't really exciting people as individuals. They like Connor McDavid can only talk about his heated driveway so many times.
Yeah, I want give us like Joseph Olden.
Give us the fun guys. But like I'm thinking, like there's a lot of
Lego of
there's a lot of guys in the league that are very like I'm not saying that like no hockey players are personal, like even you know what I mean, like but there's a lot of guys in the league who maybe are not like a superstar status, who are really interesting guys to like follow and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, oh,
And I think that'll make for better TV than us getting another tour of Connor McDavid's really sad minimalist house. That's like really sad and boring. That was already featured in an Architect's Digest video. But like, I don't know, will they throw Connor, like, will like they throw Connor Bedard in there? I really hope they don't. Mostly
Yeah,
because I don't think that kid needs any more cameras shoved in his face.
no, give him a break, please.
Like, because people are gonna be like, well, they bring it, because I know people always say, will be like, well, the stars bring in the money because they bring in the fans because they're so good, like the on-ice talent, but I'm like, ugh, ever. Like, I think also as well, like, he is, oh, is David Alter about to say something really, really based? I think so.
Ooh, David.
Actually, no, he's not. He's saying really.
Oh,
Ugh.
David.
Oh, David.
That's controversial.
That's controversial. God, no. Oh my God, David. Ew, David.
Oh, David.
Ew, David. You don't get the reference, do you? You've never seen Schitt's Creek.
No. I keep meaning to.
It's really funny.
You can't say anything because you know what you've never seen.
We're still talking about this Amazon series. We're still talking about this Amazon series. Okay, I want you, because we could sit here and list 10 to 12 players. I want you to give me 5 to 6 stars. We'll split the lists down in half. We won't do like a draft or anything, but like, you give me 5 to 6 guys, I'll give you 5 to 6 guys. Of like, if we could have our pick of the league, who we would want to follow.
Mitch Marner, because just anything to do with him is so deeply entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to the point where I would quite happily just sit and just watch him just like
exist.
Yeah. And it'd be
like the Big Brother live streams where they just there's a show idea. You put NHLers in the Big Brother house.
Oh.
Have the live feeds running.
We're onto something there.
And just watch. Okay, so Mitch Marner's your one.
I want Joseph Wall because goalies are fucking weirdos.
God. If they go, 10 to 12 greatest stars in the NHL, and they don't do a single goalie.
I want to see the weird little goalies. I want to see what they get up to.
Please expose how freaking weirdos. Like how much goalies are just weirdos. Please. Please. Amazon.
Oh, who else do I want? I want Jeff Skinner on there. I want a little Jeff Skinner moment. That's okay. 3.
That's 3. You get 2 to 3 more.
I'm trying. Who else would be really good? I want Matthew Nyes on there, and that's just my love for the Leafs.
I know. I was gonna say this is very Leafs heavy, very Eastern heavy.
It's me. What do you Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have to give you 5 or 6, but I can't name you. Okay, but we can't repeat names. Marc-Andre Fleury. He's my goalie pick. Follow Marc-Andre Fleury. Love that. I think he's really funny. Get some French representation in here. Paul Caulfield. I think he's really funny, and I think also out of that group of like US national development guys, he's the one I could stand the longest.
Yeah.
Like I'd be able to watch him on TV. Like I'd be able to sit there and be like, yeah, I can like watch this guy on TV. This is hard. I came up with this question and I am still struggling. I'm like purposely trying not to pick any Leafs either. Because I'm like, okay, well, you said a lot of Leafs. So. Oh. Or like Mika Zibanejad in there or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like you need to pick a guy who has like a cool hobby. Which he does. Big DJ guy. DJ Mika. Yeah. But like also as well, I don't know, be fun. Like Rangers are a big market. Okay, now let's pick some like from the West. Because I've picked quite a few Eastern guys. I feel like you gotta go like someone on like Colorado. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Colorado or like LA. Who on LA would be fun to follow? Like I don't want to pick like, I don't know. All the guys who I'm thinking of are just like old men. And I was like, we don't need old men. But like, you gotta also pick like a young guy in there. I don't know. Like Brant Clark seems really funny, but I don't like, he's not truly like a regular NHLer quite yet. He's a funny guy. He plays for LA sometimes. God, that's the thing, is like this isn't entertaining anymore. This is just me thinking now.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I went with so many Leafs, because I was sat and I was like, I genuinely cannot think of anyone.
I know that's the thing, is I need some rosters pulled up in front of me. I don't know I know the West, yes, but do I know the West like that well? I don't want to say like orchestrate a trade, but like it would be interesting if you followed a guy who like got traded or something. Like if you followed like I don't know. No, is Noah Hannafin like entertaining? Is he an entertaining guy?
I don't really know.
No, or like Jake Gensel. Not to pick another guy from the East, but like, you know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like orchestrate a trade. Amazon starts orchestrating NHL trades. Jesus Christ. But like it would be interesting because I think for sure it would also like remind people of like the human aspect.
Yeah.
That goes into that's like behind when it comes to like NHL, like the fact that like when a trade happens, it's someone's real life that gets basically uprooted and shipped wherever across North America.
Yeah.
Ooh, I know. Brock Besser or like Elias Patterson. Brock Besser.
Yes.
Vancouver. Because you can't do Quinn. No offense to Quinn. He's boring.
That man, I've never seen a man as boring as Quinn Hughes. And I mean that in a loving way.
No offense to Quinn, but like, oh yeah, you gotta do like Brock Besser or like Elias Pettersson or someone like that. I don't know. But yeah. Okay. That's my list. We did that. I took up a
That took so long.
It took so long.
And they're like 5 players, and I'm sat there like,
name a woman.
Oh God.
And I know people are going to like disagree with us and be like, actually, so and so is not entertaining enough for me, and I would not watch.
And I'm like, okay, don't watch it then. We want it though.
We want it. This is who we want. But yeah, that's all I have for my notes. So I know you wanted to talk about something.
The great frozen bread debate. So this is something.
I have a defense for this.
This is something that went down on Twitter yesterday, and it was basically, I thought it was like common practice to like when you buy a loaf of like pre-sliced bread to just freeze it and then defrost it as you use it so it doesn't go off. That is apparently not a universal experience. And I was met with many different Opinions on it.
Okay. Here's how I operate. And like I grew up, yes, with my mom, like putting bread in the freezer. But like it wasn't right away. It would be like a week. And then if we didn't finish the loaf in a week, then she would put it in the freezer. But it's like she would keep it out fresh for as long as possible. And like fresh bread never went in the freezer. Like the fresh, like freshly, like not the pre-sliced, like Dempster's.
If it's freshly baked bread, that was a tongue twister. If it's freshly baked bread, that is not lasting long enough to need to go in the freezer. That will not last 5 minutes around me.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, but I currently don't put my bread in the freezer because I eat bread. Like if I have bread, I eat it fast enough because I eat a lot of toast. I'm at least 2 slices a day. At least 2 slices a day. And then maybe on top of that, I have a grilled cheese or I do a sandwich, like a panini or something. I don't have a panini press here, actually, in my apartment, but I do quite a few grilled
toasty maker in my house.
You mean a panini press?
Toasty maker.
A panini press.
A toasty maker.
Toasty's not a real word.
It is because I said it.
It's not how this works.
It is now. It is now.
But yeah, so it's not like I don't put my bread in the freezer, but like, you know what I don't do at all? Put my bread in the fridge.
Oh, bread in the fridge is wrong.
Yeah, I lived at one point with 2 people who did that. 2 of my roommates.
I'm so sorry. That's rough.
Well, would put their bread in the fridge, and I'd be like, guys, why are you putting the bread? And they're like, well, it makes it last longer. I'm like, well, if you know if you're not going to finish it,
freeze it.
Freeze it. And they're like, well, like then I'm like, freeze it.
Yeah. I feel like another big thing is because the reason that like I freeze my bread straight away is I buy it when it's like when it's reduced to like 30 because
it's about to go bad.
Yeah, and living is
about to hit the best. Yeah.
I think my favorite thing though, there was that one reply and it really made me giggle. Oh, I'm trying to find it.
That's the thing. My grocery store doesn't often have a big reduced section for their baked goods, so it's like really rare that I'll find a reduced loaf of bread. So I will usually just buy whatever, like a loaf of bread regular price. I have the same bread that I buy every single time. Creature of habit. Don't know what it's called. Know what the package looks like. It was really funny when I went grocery shopping with my mom and she's like, oh, I'll grab you some bread. What do you want? And I was like, I don't know what it's called, but I know what the package looks like.
It's my bread.
Yeah, because it's very much a thing where it's like, I don't know any of my friends' addresses, but I know how to get to their houses and I know what their houses look like.
Yeah. It's like
I have no idea, like could not mail a letter to their house. But I know how to get there because I'm that's just how I remember details, as I'm a visual person. Are you looking for this bread tweet? And do I have to continue waffling about bread?
No. I found it now. It was someone replied to it, not even to the main tweet. It was to my reply to someone else's reply. This person who I have never interacted with before and who doesn't follow me and is not followed by anyone I know just replied and went, it's a lower class thing. And I'm like, bro, sorry for not wanting to waste money and throw bread away because I'm not.
They just called you poor.
Yeah, I mean,
called you broke.
I mean, yeah, but like you don't have to say it, man.
You don't have to say the quiet part out loud.
You didn't have to like make me remember it and think about it.
Anyways, yeah, reminder, we currently don't earn any money off of doing the show. If you are a company that would like to sponsor us,
please.
We're really good at doing ad reads. Do it so Marcie has to stop freezing her bread.
Please do it so I can
emails in the show notes.
Right. For every sponsorship that we get, I am allowed one slice of fresh bread a week.
Mistress getting Dobby a suck.
Oh no, but I mean, hey Amazon, if you want to do a series on the lives of us, I'm just saying,
we're very entertaining people.
we are deeply entertaining people. Like, for example,
I
I
thought
can't be
that's-
trusted in a kitchen or anywhere at the moment without
No,
slicing
you
off half a finger.
sliced your finger. No, I thought your call out to Amazon was going in a different direction, and I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, we will do reviews of your NHL show."
I mean, that too.
We
We'll
will
do
do that.
both.
Maybe actually, I don't know. Will we have enough time to do that? Where it's like, would we have enough time in our day to like watch the episode and then like get on and be like, so this is our thoughts on so and so? Because I do remember that like, oh my god, watch an Amazon series with us. Watch alongs. Like we're pretty much it.
I mean, they could always like find like the most weird and like bizarre products and send them to us, and we just that'd be funny.
Reminder: we don't get paid for this yet.
One day.
One day, fingers crossed. But right now, we do not get paid for this. Or I would not have looked at when I was buying dish soap today. Looked at the price for 100 milliliters and had gone back and forth between which one's cheaper.
Stop, because I did that last week. I needed to buy
I do it all the time.
I needed to buy my washing pods. And I was like looking between them. I was like, well, this one gives me more, but this one's cheaper per pod. And I genuinely, I spent about 5 minutes, and I was like,
Yeah.
But
yep. I did that today when I was buying dish soap.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But that's a new low point.
I did also cringe at spending like $10 on a Brita filter.
Ouch.
Well, like in your money, that's like, 50% less. Like £5 probably.
Yeah.
Think about how bad the Canadian dollar is.
Yeah. But still, that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, because I'm going home at the weekend for Easter. I get nice water again. I get
water,
lovely Yorkshire water, as opposed to the Manchester. Oh.
No, I don't know. I would say like, Ottawa water is not that bad, but like also at the same time, I don't drink the tap water in Ottawa. And the only time I do is when I'm at my boyfriend's place, and his place is on a well. So I get well water.
Okay, Simon.
Which is it's not nice. It's not. It's worse. It's worse water.
Yeah. If you just pretend it's nice, though. If you just go, ooh,
well water.
Well water.
Yeah.
That's what I did last year in my accommodation, because
yeah, we don't need to go into that horror story.
That water was grim. So I just had to be like, yeah, this is lovely, fresh, clean water that I am drinking right now. Oh. What a day it's been for us.
What a day. The thing I'm thinking about is how, Leafs lose out in the shootout, which the one thing I will say, you could be like, oh, well, Samsonov should have saved the game-winning goal in the shootout. Why did 3 Leafs go and none of them scored?
That was painful. I was sat and I was like, absolutely no way of every single one of these just missed.
Why is Sheldon Keefe still using William Nylander in the shootout?
I think at this point they'd have been better putting me in.
Could have put Joseph Wool out there.
Yeah, you know what? Do it, Sheldon.
This is something me and Simon were talking about the other day. Because we were in the concept of, we were talking about shootouts. I don't know what we were talking about, shootouts or something, and he was telling me about how, like, in soccer, don't make that face at me. In soccer, you have to go through your entire roster before, in a shoot, like in penalty kicks, before you can loop back and start replaying. So like even the goalies will have to go, right? And so I was like, is that rule? I actually am curious. I haven't looked it up, but if that rule is the same in hockey, where it's like we do know that. Oh, I remember who we were. Anyways, sorry. I just remembered exactly why we were talking, because we were talking about TJ Oshie, and it was like World Championships, and he had to keep going in the shootout.
Yeah.
They like, because in international, after the first 3 rounds of a shootout, you can just play. You can send out whoever you want. Doesn't matter if they've already gone or not. And he's a shootout specialist. Anyways, that's why we were talking about shootouts. And he was like saying, well, like you have to even, like, the goalkeepers will go. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. I was thinking, like, is that the same for hockey, where it's like, if you run out of skaters, do you send out your goalies in a shootout? Can you even just do your goalie anyways? Like, you send out, they go out full gear, and I don't know if do they use their stick? Do they use like a player stick? It doesn't matter. Send them out. Do they do the shootout? Would be hilarious. Watching them try and do shootout, like skate down from center ice in full gear, like with their pads and everything. And then we came up with this brilliant idea. If the shootout goes past, say, I don't know, the 6th round, then all of your shooters have to be goalies. It can be either of your 2 goalies. You can choose the one who's currently in net, or you can choose the one on the bench. Doesn't matter. But you have to send out your goalies.
That would be
if it goes past us X round. We were talking in the car, and I was like, well, just like the 6th round or something stupid.
That would be everything.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I think Gary Bettman should call me up, and we should work on getting that implemented to the official rules of the NHL.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be so funny. Because, like, in my head, that's like in baseball, like a pitcher hitting, going up to bat. Doesn't happen. But
not.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so.
Especially because they'd be doing in like goalie skates too.
Oh.
Yeah. Either that, like, either you add it to the official rules, or you make it an all-star game event, like skills comp event. The goalie shootout, where it's just goalies going up against other goalies in a shootout.
Oh my god, that would be genuinely. I need to see that. Like, so bad.
Forget calling up Connor McDavid. We can help you decide and do your skills comp.
Like, hey, Connor. If you let us help, you can get another heated driveway. How does that sound, Connor?
All right. I think that's all we have for today. Right? I don't know. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't. For once.
Wow. Okay. Well then, thank you so much for listening. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. I think for the most part, we're all on YouTube now. So if you
Yeah.
prefer, if you're someone who prefers listening on YouTube, you can find the show there. See, we're so good at our jobs that we don't get paid for.
Please, someone sponsor us.
Some emails in the show notes. You can follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's fourth with the number 4TH. And you can follow me and Marcie on Twitter at 60 Leaves for Marcie, at PairB1 for myself. We will be back on Thursday after the Leafs take on the Flyers and the Capitals. And, hopefully they're 2 good wins.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. We do get more listeners when the Leafs are winning.
Yeah.
Fun fact. We actually do. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.